Hi, I'll knock out a few more of these, shall I? We might not have much longer.
Hello and welcome back to NonCompete. I'm American Johnson.
Your timing is excellent, American Johnson. You uploaded this just on the lip of the European legal change that might disable me from activities such as responding to your face. From a safe distance, I mean. I believe it will remain legally possible for me to confront you in selected public places, but I'm sure they're working on how that's racist and misogynist too. Say your name one more time. It's inspired.
I'm American Johnson, and today we're going to be talking about feminism.
I'm going to open a book now. An open book that can only be read by another open book. Normally that might stand to some kind of reason, but here it's exceptionally important.
These days, feminism is feminism. Are you talking about feminism?
Do you ever get that sense, that rather familiar yet unwelcome, solipsistic sense that the whole universe was created just to troll you? This is all just higher beings shit-testing someone, and that someone is you, and you're probably failing. Congratulations, you already know what a K-hole feels like. Don't do it, kids. But I bring this up because sometimes, despite my attempts at discipline on this virtual plane, I will meet an uncanny avatar who seems, for all my feeble, traumatized emotions can gather, seems to have been put there, on a 3D rendered digital silver platter, just to coax me into creating your masterpiece of pure fail. And whether you're real or not, whether my vision of you is real or not, I would not be living life to the fullest if I didn't make some effort to lunge at you. It's like you're a buffalo, standing drinking by a patch of water, smeared in whatever gives crocodiles the munchies. The story writes itself. I'm the crocodile. I'm the monster that hasn't needed to evolve for several ice ages and at least one meteoric apocalypse. Because I wait in the shallows. I wait patiently in the seasonal waters in which punks like your sorry ass bathe to survive. And I only expend a burst of calories every multiple consecutive reptilian circadian rhythms. I wait for that one sucker whose name was on the bullet who is my ass. I'm sick, Mr. Johnson. You get me? I'm twisted. I'm comparing myself with a prehistoric reptile, and it's nowhere but downhill from here. There is going to be thrashing and gnawing and scenes unsuitable for human consumption. You can let your prize poodle play around with a placid, semi-domesticated leviathan if you like, but you can never get past semi-domesticated. You are not a friend. One day I am going to eat you, and I will not understand why you care. Why couldn't we not be sober? What? Why have you summoned me?
Yeah. Hi, Nikki Beard.
Oh, hi, matted armpit ecosystem. Hi, indeciduous blue forest bunny. Hi, tumbleweed eating a human. Hello, semi-mummified shell of a crack horde draped over a cartoon anvil and sun-dried to a flake of indigestible fibre. I was making a point about the guy. It was the guy I'm responding to. Yes, and I'm making an insult about you. And how does that help? It doesn't. I'm your imagination. Why in Sam Hell's offshore tax haven would I cooperate with you, dickhead?
I was just explaining that feminism is a very... God, you just said it again. Don't you know what that word means?
Bitch, all you're describing so far is an AIDS pig. And nobody has the market cornered on the dark art of dicking about with words. See, there you go. That'll be a good way to construct this. You argue with Neckbeardy the puppet, and I'll argue with Puppety the neckbeard.
Yeah, of course I know what feminism means.
Feminism is total bullshit. And feminists are just a bunch of whiny females who want to take rights away from men and put women in charge of society.
Not quite. Feminists take rights away from men and put men in charge of society. That way, society is being run by people with no right to disobey you. That's an awful lot easier than running society by yourself. As we know, power follows the path of least resistance. A society operating under this two-tier class system will always have that edge of ruthlessness over any society of self-respecting individuals who have something to lose, by way of identity. Is that clear? Is that more clear? Is that better? The Sultan doesn't want his people in charge, he wants his janissary slaves in charge. And feminists don't want women in charge, they want their janissary slaves in charge. You're almost there, Mr. Straw Goat. It's on the lip of your rather sloppy mother tongue there. Keep at it. Maybe one day you'll be a real boy.
What are you talking about, Nikki Beard? That is not true at all. Feminists just want all genders to be equal.
Oh, cool. Well, I believe in equality of the blood groups. I'm a B-lister. It's short for blood blister. I want people of all blood types to be equal, especially B. And H, an X, a delta, a dimmy squash, a triple gash, and the adventures of Mega Rex, the twice-removed vegetarian coconut curry dish, formerly known as Principles. Nonsense! Nonsense! How dare you! Did you know coconut milk can be used as blood plasma? Hey, science says blood isn't real! I'm having fun!
Have you ever actually talked to a feminist, Nikki Beard?
Yes, I've talked to hundreds of feminists.
Where? Where have you talked to hundreds of feminists?
La la la. La la la. La la la. La la.
Hundreds of feminists.
La 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 la. La la la. La la la. La la. I'm sterilized.
Anyway, I don't need to talk to Hitler to know that Nazis are bad.
You sound just like a feminist.
Hitler? Really? We're less than a minute into this debate and you've already broken Godwin's law.
Oh, less than a minute into this debate, and you've already showed us Nazi memorabilia and mentioned Hitler 3 times, no less. Looks like we got ourselves a fascist dog whistler in our midst, gentlemen. Jokes? I don't know about jokes, never heard of them. Context? Eat a dick, context. It's off to jail with you.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you about Reddit?
Ha! Everything except where on the doll it hurt you. In case anyone's interested, Tumblr hurt me there. Right there. In the Cartesian greenhouse in which I hydroponically incubate my one last seed of faith in humanity. But I didn't change anything, so now I just get pissed off with the people who are still trying, and I wait for death. Okay. Yelp scum. Fucking eBay slags. Tinder bender.
Feminists are the ones that can't take a joke. They accuse everybody of being sexist and see all men as sexist pigs.
Okay, see now you're building a straw man, Nikki Beard.
Well played, old chap. It is indeed, yes, a straw man fallacy for someone to claim all or every when the truth is much closer to some or none or unknown/incomplete. Let us take a sly glance at the title of this video of yours.
The straw man fallacy involves refuting an argument that was not presented by one's opponent. The straw man fallacy involves refuting an argument that was not presented by one's opponent.
I'm sterilized.
You are a fat dick made of ham, America Johnson. You may put that in your blurb. But do you get what I'm saying? This is one of the things that makes people angry. You know what a straw man is. You even have the facility to explain what a straw man is. But when you do it, Mr. Johnson, when you make a straw man the explicit premise of your video, fuck it. It doesn't matter. It's okay when you do it, because colon question mark? Yeah, you missed the section of code in which we establish why you don't have to follow your own rules. I'm guessing, based on the pattern of the playlist so far, that it's because you are feminism. Feminism is good people. Everything else is bad people. Go to section 2. Rules that bad people have to follow. That's why it's okay for you to call people neckbeards and misogyn nerds, but it's not okay for them to call you a soy boy and a mangina. It doesn't make sense unless you've established beforehand that you are better than those people, because your God is true and theirs is false. Maybe not God, maybe just a system. I'm clutching at straws here. Again, you haven't told us why straw manning can be overlooked and waived when you do it, Mr. Johnston. You haven't explained why it's AdHominem harassment when the bad people do it, and it's virtuous journalism when the good people do it. You haven't established good or bad. You have merely concluded it. You haven't told us why it's not okay to call feminists Nazis, but it's perfectly acceptable when feminists yell Nazi at everyone who is not a feminist! Which they fucking do! All the goddamn time, dude. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in this video you say, and another fallacy is called protection! That's where you make a shitload of mistakes and then pretend those mistakes are being made by anyone but you! This is something that non-feminists do all the time! You'll say it, and then you'll stand there with a fart-huffing grin on your face like you've solved anyone's problems. I'm like, well done for learning some debate jargon and trying to learn what it means, but mate, this is all useless. Your entire education is useless if you're only going to use it half of the time on half of the people. Or on whoever the fuck you feel like, whenever the fuck you feel like it. If you're just gonna go, I know what a straw man is. It's everything except the shit I like. Then you should never have learned that word. You weren't ready for it, and you still aren't. If all you understand at a philosophical level is this tribe is good and that tribe is bad, then put down the jargon. Put down the overpriced executive toys. You're a peasant, okay? You are a stable hand. You need to be raised in the country by wise old anthropomorphic ferrets who slowly teach you the principle that sometimes you are the wrong one. Go back to the Shire and shovel some shit, Daniel San. You are not ready. Ahem. Straw man! Well, that wasn't... you didn't... Straw man! I hate this planet. Drumpf!
If they want to earn more money, and if they want more leadership positions, then why don't they work hard for it?
That wasn't a straw man. I've heard you say that before. I think I have, yes. True enough. Nikki Beard, I'll go ahead and leave it in and let you carry on.
Why don't they work hard for it like we do?
Except the we thing. Not everyone who argues against feminism is male. Did you know that? Even people who explicitly advocate for men's rights and admit it are quite often female. And even occasionally this both thing we have. So for you to present an argument from an explicitly exclusively male perspective, as though it represents all angry arguments against feminism, is a whole bunch of fallacies, Mr. Johnson. Line them up.
False dichotomies, cherry picking, anecdotal evidence fallacies.
This is why we occasionally call something an idea so bad only intellectuals could conceive of it. Yeah, I'm probably paraphrasing someone there, but that's loud.
Equal treatment fallacy.
What?
This fallacy is rooted in the false notion that if we treat everyone equally, then everyone will suddenly become equal.
Okay, well, I'm learning something today. I hadn't heard of that one, I've got to say. Okay, so equal treatment, obsolete. equal opportunities under the law, yesterday's news. Golden rule, do unto others and so on. No, to the trash with it. And don't let it touch the fucking sides. Now let me write this down. The false notion that if we treat everyone equally, then everyone will suddenly become equal. Alright, so, out of interest, what do we call the notion, the presumably true notion, that if you treat everyone unequally, then everyone will become equal? Eventually, of course, not suddenly. What do we call the unquestionable, uncontroversial notion that treating people differently under the law is in fact the only way to even hope of achieving anything we can call equality? And only if we just stick with it, keep burying it further in and never listen to a dissenting opinion, then maybe in the distant future we won't have to keep criminalizing everything. You do have a word for that notion, don't you, Mr. Johnson? It's one of the words in the title of your video.
If we truly want an egalitarian society, then we will have to temporarily treat some groups differently so that in the long run they can become truly equal.
Called it. We all have to live under a two-class caste system, but don't worry, it's only temporarily until we've achieved what we call the long run. We will let you know. We'll keep you up to speed, don't you worry. If it takes forever, we'll do it forever. Because the only alternative hypothesis is if we treat people equally, we'll suddenly achieve equality. Like instantaneously, between 2 plank seconds. And that's not, well, I mean, that's egalitarian laws, as you call them, these egalitarian laws. I mean, they don't exact immediate, simultaneous change. So, the only other option is living under a master-slave dynamic until the end of fucking time. When you defined one notion as suddenly, and the opposing notion as in the long run, like, the other tribe can't fix the world's problems in an instant, therefore my tribe should have everlasting carte blanche to engineer a fascist hierarchy. When you said that, were you just tweaking your rhetoric slightly, just to let us know which side you're on? Well done, by the way, you did. Or were you, yet again, committing all or most of the logical fallacies you've already outlined? False dichotomy, straw man, jury picking. When you can't even prop up a logical fallacy without using other logical fallacies, you are failing at language, brother. You are not thinking straight. You are lost in a fucking pubic fuzzball of lies. But do carry on.
The fact is that women and other non-male genders have been oppressed for a very long time.
Women and other non-male genders have been oppressed for a very long time. That sounds like a normal sentence to you, doesn't it? You can't hear what's fucked up about that. Here's a sentence for you. Women and men have been oppressed for a very long time. No? False dichotomy fallacy. Of course, you can't stop at 2 genders. There are multiple genders on multiple spectra. And we wouldn't want to exclude anyone when we say non-male genders. Dude, you do realise your grandparents have no idea what the fuck you're saying, and your grandchildren will not understand what the fuck you're saying either. Both sides of history are going to listen to you and think, why the fuck is he saying women and non-male genders instead of saying women and men? What in Jiminy Shitskins is going on here? He's a popular progressive bebop artist in the 2030s. Well, I can tell you, it's because he's broken, dear historians and imaginary Futurians. He's broken. Feminism broke him so hard that he can't speak English anymore. His first language is Newspeak. We fucked up. We fucked up good and hard and royal and proper and all the other sexy adverbs. We let go of the wheel for too goddamn long, and shit like this started happening. Believe me, we're very embarrassed on his behalf. And we learned a lesson. That's why there is a future of people who can look back on this. Because we eventually snapped out of it and went back to, you know, breeding and raising families at a sustainable rate. We have each other to thank for this. Because we came together as a species, as a unity of peoples and of cultures, and we said, you people are off your goddamn rocker! I'm going to live somewhere else where you can't turn my children into acid casualty zombies. I'll see you all in Texas. It turns out in the year 2035, all 7 billion of us do live within the state of Texas, not including the zombies. And then nature purges itself. It'll be a very long story, one that science fiction writers from another galaxy will make big money writing about someday. Go on, do another one.
AdHominems are attacks against the opponent as a person, as opposed to attacks against the argument itself.
Even you should know better than that, Nikki Beard.
AdHominem,
Nikki Beard.
AdHominem,
Nikki Beard.
Where did you hear that word, Mr. Johnson? The word Nikki Beard. I hope you've never used it in an argument. But to be clear, on its own it's just an insult, not an AdHominem. If it's not proposed to follow anything logically, then it's not a logical fallacy. So if you display, quote, every angry argument against feminism, and then you portray them as the unstructured wailings of a fedora-tipping herbivore called Nikki Beard...
Men are domestic animals.
Technically, to be fair, that is not AdHominem. It's addressed not to an individual, but to a group defined by beliefs. So it's not quite AdHominem. It's just a straw man that happens to be rather insulting. However, when you set up an all-encompassing legal system that literally, systematically says to its citizens, you are not allowed to do that or say that because you're a man,
We will have to temporarily treat some groups differently.
then the legal system itself is guilty of AdHominem. Because it's not concerned with a man's deeds or arguments, only that he is a man. Accused by someone who is not a man, or indeed of a non-male gender, shall we say. Oh shit, all the men are deciding they're not men anymore! How did this happen? But, see, it's not considered a logical fallacy if the system itself is doing it. It's considered a legal tradition. So it's hard to say if you, Mr. Johnson, have committed AdHominem in this video. You've committed perhaps a slightly different, somewhat broader fallacy, which I'm unable to name, since argumentum AdHominem means argument to the man, and I'm afraid I don't know the Latin verb conjugation for argument to all the men.
And there's an appeal to fear.
Appeal to fear.
No, it isn't. It's an appeal to love. My thing is an appeal to love. Your thing is an appeal to fear. Woo! I win. I presupposed this. See? And I establish it beforehand. Since that's what we're doing.
Yes, men do suffer in our current society, and that's exactly why we as men need feminism.
Because after all, feminism is not part of society. It's not part of the thing that makes men suffer. Feminism stands ecstatic from all of these things. It doesn't cause problems. It only suffers them and fixes them. You what? You don't go around stabbing people in the face with a frozen dildo. That's because of feminism. It's because feminism lives in you and has written its moral code into your heart. Sorry, you what? You fucked up? You made a fucking stupid video that's going to embarrass everyone in your family for generations to come? Well, it's not feminism's fault you did that. We're society! You need more feminism. You suck, dude. You suck so hard it dehydrates me. No, I will not rephrase that. Okay, sorry, but possible AdHominem coming up in 3 seconds too. Come on. Speaking of fear, it's all I see in your eyes. And therefore you're wrong. Right, AdHominem definitively achieved. Thing learned. Next.
Because gender inequality hurts men as well as women, and that's why most modern feminists are concerned with things like toxic masculinity.
I haven't done this for a long time, but it's all I got right now. It's going to be really funny if you die doing that. Yeah, that'd be pretty brutal. Not on a live stream, just while recording the video. No one knows where you've gone for several weeks, until the neighbours complain about the smell. Then the council finds your body and an SD card revealing 90 minutes of silence after a man bludgeons himself to death on the corner of a desk. No one will know. The footage will be sent to a police evidence locker to slowly degrade under the elements, and everyone will assume you just slipped in the bath or some shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? You are! No, you are! Get on with it! Yeah, I think I should.
Actually, there are a lot of feminists that I disagree with. Take, for example, TERFs.
Well done, you! You're not a fan of the explicitly genocidal ones either. Hey, did you know there are non-feminists who also disagree with TERFs? And some who, do not on some matters. Some anti-feminists disagree with what other anti-feminists think. Did you know that?
That's the thing you don't get about feminism, Nikki Beard. It's not some big monolithic conspiracy. There are hundreds of different perspectives and viewpoints within feminism.
And yet, every angry argument against feminism can be summed up in one video using an incoherent and obnoxious goat puppet. Feminism is not a monolith. Everything else is. You are fucking cancer, America Johnson. You are a lump nobody wants.
Stay off of Reddit. That place is a shithole. Thanks for watching, everybody.
There you have it, folks. Now you know where the cool people want you to hang out. And you wouldn't want to not be like the cool people, right? There's not much I could ask of you, feasibly. But if you can't even be the best person you can be, at least do what this guy does and be the most ironic person you can be.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
I feel dirty, and I like it.